Welcome to Lunch with California Common Cause, our monthly opportunity to chat with our members and others interested in building a better, more inclusive California democracy. I'm Jonathan Mehta-Stein, the Executive Director at California Common Cause. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you're well. I hope you and yours are safe and healthy. I want to start off by mentioning that we're trying to keep our members and our followers more updated on our work via our email program. We invite you to sign up for our email updates at commoncause.org/California. This month's live stream is all about our youth and student programs, a major part of who California Common Cause is, but doesn't get mentioned enough when we're talking about voting rights, redistricting, money and politics reform, and so on. Those programs are built for and by young leaders. Today, we'll be talking with three of those young leaders, our interns, Will Brega, Eric Spencer, and Alexandra Silva, who designed the newest iteration of our youth and student programs. They'll share what they look like, how young leaders can sign up, and how Common Cause members can support. If you want to jump straight to that, you can go to our website now, www.commoncause.org/California/student-activism to check out all of our youth and student offerings, and we're going to talk about them in greater depth. I'm going to repeat that URL, and then I'm going to give you a short update on our other work before we are joined by Will, Eric, and Alex. That URL again, commoncause.org/California/student-activism. All right, so what is the Common Cause family working on here in California? First, SB 459, Senate Bill 459 is our major piece of legislation for the year. It is a bill we've emailed our members about several times. It would create much more transparency around lobbying in Sacramento, particularly in peak periods and particularly for the largest spenders of lobbying dollars. That is coming for a major vote tomorrow in the Senate Appropriations Committee, which can be a tough committee, and we'll see how that goes. If it passes the Senate Appropriations Committee, we'll move on to the Senate floor because we've already passed the Senate Elections Committee. If we pass the Senate, then we're off to the Assembly where we'll repeat the same path. We'll head to the Elections Committee first, and the Appropriations Committee second, and the full Assembly floor third. So if you want to stay updated on SB 459, you can follow us by email, again, commoncause.org/California. We have two major studies coming out soon in the coming weeks and months. One is about our election protection work in November 2020, in which we sent volunteer poll monitors to over 1,200 voting sites across 5 Southern California counties. It's going to talk about where California succeeded, basically how it achieved record voter turnout amid a global pandemic, but also highlight the areas in which California counties can do better at serving voters and new challenges that are arising in our elections that we haven't seen before. That will be coming out in the coming weeks. And our second major study that we're going to be producing, I think this one in the next couple of months, is studying LA City's matching fund system. So LA City is one of several California cities that uses a public financing system in order to amplify or lift up the voices of small donors in its city elections. There's been no systematic study of whether that's actually changing the dynamics in the donor pool and for our candidates. The reality is that it's doing dramatic work in diversifying our donor pool and giving different kinds of candidates an opportunity to run viable campaigns for the LA City Council. And we're going to have a study that shows all of that in incredible detail with tremendous data work. The other things going on, of course, are state redistricting, local redistricting. The State Redistricting Commission is still building out its process. It is trying to build the most inclusive redistricting process I've ever seen, and they're engaging a wide range of stakeholders, experts, and community groups as they figure out how best to engage all of California in the redistricting process. If you want to learn more or request a presentation from a commissioner, go to www.wedrawthelinesca.org. You can sign up for their email list at that website. You can hear about future hearings, and you can live stream meetings, all at that website. Again, www.wedrawthelinesca.org. Local redistricting is also progressing on a city level, county level, school district level, and what have you. We really encourage you, if you want to get involved, to check out our website, commoncause.org/local redistricting 2021, where we've added new resources and materials, including a legal guide to local redistricting law that we created together with the ACLU of California. There's also 2 video trainings there. If video is your jam and you'd rather not read, there's all sorts of things that you can learn, both in sort of PDF documents, various fact sheets, toolkits, resources, etc., and of course the video training. So you're going to want to find out, when is your city holding its redistricting hearings? When is your county holding its redistricting hearings? When is your school board holding its redistricting hearings? Only you can answer that, probably by calling your city clerk or your county clerk or what have you. But if you want to get engaged, educated, and prepared to get involved, you can check out our website. Okay, I hope that gives you a taste of the full breadth of our sorts of work. We have legislation in the works, we have reports and research in the works, and we're helping get community involved in state and local redistricting. That's only a piece of our work, but I think it gives you a sense of the breadth of the things we're working on here at California Common Cause. All right, I want to bring on our fabulous guests for today, Will, Alex, and Eric. Will is from San Diego, California. He is currently a third-year student at San Jose State University. Hi, Will. He's studying economics and communications. As an intern with California Common Cause, Will has assisted us with many programs on the digital and communications fronts. Alex grew up in Menifee, California. She's a recent graduate of the University of California, Santa Barbara, and a degree in history of public policy and law. She's worked on redistricting and voting rights here at California Common Cause. Hi, Alex. And last but not least, of course, Eric. Eric grew up in Santa Cruz, California. He currently attends Tufts in Boston. He majors in political science, and he works on a wide range of issues with us at California Common Cause, including money in politics and redistricting. And of course, Will, Alex, and Eric are joining us today because they are the pros that helped us design the newest evolution in our student and youth programming. Will, Alex, Eric, welcome. Would you take yourselves off mute, just say hello for a sec, and then we have some questions for you.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, guys. All right, we've had something called the Student Organizing and Activist Retreat, SOAR, for quite a while, going back many years now. I've been involved in several of them. Can you tell our viewers, our listeners, what SOAR is and how it's evolved during the pandemic? Alex, why don't I go to you?
Yeah, so SOAR, or as Jonathan said, our Student Activism Organizing Retreat, is something that Common Cause, specifically California Common Cause, has been doing for many, many years, for mostly under the guise and leadership of our Northern California organizing director, Helen. She has just given these students years of her wisdom, her knowledge, her experience, and the tools needed to be able to enter the space of organizing and create campaigns for issues that they care about. Typically, how this would be run is that it'd be run at a university campus, and students from California would be brought from all over for a 3-day training in a variety of modules and training sessions, both on personal power, political power, the systems at play, the powers that may be, and how they can organize around them in the issues that they care about. And this has been something that California Common Cause has championed for many years, as I mentioned. Under the guise of the pandemic, we've had to kind of restructure and rethink about how we're making SOAR accessible. How can it be accessed by the average student who wants to get involved? And in a time when so many young people are looking for a way to turn their political passions into viable activism and advocacy efforts, we felt that this was the best opportunity possible to really reach out and create a dynamic program that would be accessible for students all over the state and allow them to really organize around the issues they care about. And that's what's led to what it currently is known as, which is SOS.
Right, so let's talk about SOS. We can't do the on-campus intensive 3-day experience anymore. We need a new model. By the way, you're so right. Helen Grieco, Northern California organizer, Common Cause for the last decade, is the godmother of all of our youth and student programs. She's tremendous, and it's great to see the 3 of you as young leaders supporting her in this work. So let's talk about SOS. What is SOS, the Student Organizing Series? Eric, why don't I ask you to share about that?
Yeah, so like Alex said, with the pandemic, we had to shift it to online, and we've been kind of thinking over the last few months of the most effective ways to do this, and we've finally put together the program that's based a lot on the old SOAR programming, but really adapted to this online format, and with the pandemic and able to engage students virtually. So with SOS, we've broke it down into 7 modules, 7 kind of different different components of organizing a campaign and leading your activism. Each of the modules has an education component for students where Helen or whoever's teaching that day will kind of, walk them through the module and what, the different kind of organizing tools that they can gain from that. Then they'll have interactive worksheets where they can apply it to their, to the students' own lives and, situations that matter to them and issues that matter to them. And then we also include information about Common Cause and how Common Cause uses these strategies, such as lobbying or kind of grassroots organizing, both at the local, the state, and the national level. And so some of the modules that we have include building your personal power, planning campaigns, building grassroots support in your community, messaging, fundraising, lobbying. So it really covers all aspects of how to, plan your action, build your power, while also giving you a chance to kind of interact with the content at a personal level and, where it matters to you, and with these worksheets that we have. And so all those, like I said, there's 7 modules. Each one's kind of broken up into a 45-minute session. We have, pages, as well as, we'll talk about this later, but we have a sign up times, and you'll be kind of taught the content by Helen or other members of staff, with even some of the interns kind of jumping in and helping out as well. So it's really this comprehensive program adapted to the virtual format with the pandemic. And yeah, I'm gonna throw it over to Will, who has a video, we have a short 45-second video explaining SOS and kind of getting us ready for this program.
I'll go ahead and share my screen. It's voiced by our very own Alex. There you guys go.
This past year, young people just like you have voiced how important issues like social justice, environmental justice, and economic justice really are. In November, folks took to the polls and made their voices heard. But now, it's 2021, and you may be wondering, how can I continue to organize around these issues? For the last 50 years, we here at Common Cause have been dedicated to the fight for an inclusive democracy, and we are proud of our many successes. Join our student activist program to help exercise your voice and your power. Let's work towards a future democracy of, by, and for the people.
There you go.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Nice work, all of you. So you 3 have been through some version of SOAR or SOS, right? Maybe you can tell me a little bit about what it taught you in your journey to be, the best activist, organizer, or advocate you can be. Who wants to jump in?
I'll go ahead. I'll just start by saying I'm extremely grateful to be able to have worked with not just the entire Common Cause team, but specifically Helen. She's so smart. She has just years and years of experience, especially with organizing. She's really helped me figure out kind of the topics I care about and also the topics that I think I am the best at as a leader. And then along with that, figuring out the whole activism as a whole, kind of figuring out where I need to fill some gaps, right? So, I mean, she's just so smart. I can't even put into words how much I've learned from her, working with her for almost a year now. Her drive and also how the SOS has been really organized is super comprehensive. And I think I've learned a lot throughout the process.
Yeah, I can go as well to that question, Jonathan. I think for me, it's kind of really helped me. Going through the program has really helped me connect with my community and kind of put what I've seen growing up in Santa Cruz, kind of put an action to it and mobilize it for change that I can create. Santa Cruz is, and particularly the UCSC campus, a very activist town, very politically involved, very politically engaged. We've had protests through the labor movement, most recently campus closure from the graduate students fighting for, more equitable treatment, higher pay, big movements around money and politics, Citizens United. And so, it's really, I've, been seeing this kind of political engagement and, protests and even participated in some throughout my life in Santa Cruz. And so I think that the Common Cause trainings and the SOS program really kind of, help me gain the tools and confidence that are necessary to get me to the point where I feel comfortable organizing my own actions. And both participating in actions led by others, but organizing my own, whether that be back at Tufts where I go to school, voter registration drives, just pure get out the vote efforts, as well as organizing for better treatment the dining hall workers, unionization, increased pay. So really the issues that I care about, giving me the tools, the confidence to plan my actions, organize around them, and be successful in advocating for them.
Awesome. Alex, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I would just add that, I mean, aside from Helen's just depth of experience and the breadth of her knowledge, which seems to be about everything, even beyond like organizing, I think one thing that's so fundamentally important about the SOAR and the SOS program is how transparent and open she is and the program is when it comes to equipping these students with the information and the tools that they need, even things that like many of us who have experience in organizing or who do it on our college campuses might even take for granted and might forget to teach those who are just starting out, like because you just assume that everybody knows what's going on. And I remember personally coming into school and being like, oh, I would love to do this, and it seemed like everybody knew what they were talking about, everybody knew what they were doing, and had this secret manual that I was missed orientation on. And so what I think is so wonderful about the SOS program is that it really equips students from the ground up, looking inward towards their personal power, looking outward towards the impact they can have, and even just those small tools that they need to know how to use. And it allows them to flourish as students, as people, and as advocates for their community.
Awesome. So we've got this multi-year lineage built by Helen around SOAR, the Student Organizing Activist Retreat. We're replacing it because of the pandemic with SOS, the online-based modules. So when does this start? What are the dates? Somebody give me the details.
Yeah, so the first date is June 7th. It runs all the way until the last day of July. It's a total of 7 weeks, perfect for the 7 modules that we have. And every week, one module will be covered. So it's every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And all 4 of those days for that week, we'll go over the same module.
So you don't need to come every day, each of 4 days in 1 week.
No, just at least one day out of the 7 weeks. Just to make it easier for students, right? People are busy over the summer with work or even more school. So there are so many dates. It's all on our sign up form. I hope that will be linked to the live stream and also everywhere this is posted for people to look at the calendar themselves. So yeah.
Okay. So, and if people want to go check that out now, it's commoncause.org/California/student-activism. So let me just talk about what this has meant for all of you as you go forward into the world. Will and Eric, you're still in college. Alex, you just graduated. What do you think Common Cause's youth programs have done to prepare you for work after undergrad? Alex, in fact, why don't we just go to you since you've already graduated?
I know, feels still pretty hard to believe on my end. I feel like I've just been skipping school for a year and I'm gonna get an email soon. So I can speak as a first generation, coming from a low income background. There's so much that you don't know about like everything regarding college and career, and especially if you want to go into something like organizing or like nonprofit work after college, there's such a lack of resources, of accessibility. It feels really like gated off as a student coming from a place with very little resources. And I think one thing that SOS really does is it helps you develop those skills that are going to be extremely helpful in future internships, that are going to make you stand out on your applications, that are going to make you stand out in your jobs, and are going to allow you to learn not only like the practical skills of organizing, but even those ones like networking, like being able to speak in front of an audience, being able to develop a message that is so important for wanting to do this work past undergrad, for wanting to get into these spaces. So I think SOS can really transform you no matter where you're at, no matter where you're coming from, and take you to a new level that maybe you might not have been able to imagine before. And it does really equip you with those skills for internships and jobs, including the California Common Cause paid internship program.
Yeah, it's been an absolute blast. I have a sort of a more elaborate thank you at the end, but it's been an absolute blast having the three of you work with us for as long as you have. And we're looking for the next generation of Will, Eric, and Alex, sort of always. And you can find information about our internship on our website. Why don't we just take a second here? I mean, share a little bit about your experience interning with California Common Cause. Maybe a highlight. Sure, share a low light. I don't care. Let's like really just share your thoughts on what it's been like to intern with us. Eric, why don't I go to you first?
Yeah, so as an intern here, I've been with Common Cause since January. And so my main role has been really focusing on policy and research. And probably I would say one of the highlights, definitely one of the highlights was I wrote up a report with Alvin, who's my supervisor and the operations manager here at Common Cause, looking at the consolidation of elections in California from odd to even years, and kind of years that to match with, moving to even years to match with high turnout federal and state elections. And we found that voter turnout tripled in these cities that moved their elections to elections to these even year on-cycle elections that matched with these more, the higher profile elections that everyone knows about. And so, moving these elections to align with the popular high turnout federal and state elections, we just found like is really an effective way to increase voter participation, civic engagement in these communities, and really, just a powerful quick switch that these cities can make that will engage more of the communities and kind of get to many of the goals that Common Cause has. So just doing that research from both collecting the data to also analyzing it, collaborating with other interns, including Alex and Will, to come up with graphs and language for the report, and just writing this formal report was really some experience that I didn't haven't gotten in school. And just really exciting to kind of engage with politics at that level. And another thing I'll add is the fact that the internship is paid. It's $15 an hour, which is I've found is very rare in the politics space and in the nonprofit space. I have not, applied to many internships because they're unpaid, and that's a big barrier to a lot of students. So I'd really encourage, other people, other students to apply to this internship, because it's not only valuable experience, but it is paid, and it's paid well, which is great for someone who's very interested in this work. So yeah, it's been a very positive experience overall.
Eric, that report was great. I think we all had a suspicion that moving off-cycle elections to on-cycle election dates would increase turnout, but we had no real ability to prove it. I mean, we didn't have any data that showed that our suspicions were right until that report came out from you and from Alvin, and it showed not only did it improve turnout, it tripled turnout in municipal elections. So, I mean, we'll be using that to argue for election consolidation for years into the future. So, good work. Will, why don't I go to you next?
Yeah, I think the highlight for me, I can't pick out one specific thing. I guess during my time here, I spent a lot of it doing content creation. I think that's really cool because I got to communicate with almost everybody on the team. I got to do, whether it be a big project or a small project, I got to do something with everybody on the Common Cause team. And I guess that's the highlight, just the people. This is a great organization. I think as a young person, that's like the big question, right? Like, what are you going to do after college? Like, what kind of workspace do you want to be a part of? And I think I really found that with Common Cause. Just the people here, I think, is a great example for me. Just because I don't really know what to expect. I hear stories about work, about what older people do after college, but I think this has kind of helped me figure out the people I want to be around when I'm older, and also the type of work that I want to do. And it made me a lot more passionate about politics, about advocacy, and about really important issues here, not just in California, but in America and all over the world. So yeah.
Thanks, Will. I really did not coach everybody on what to say here. The positivity you're hearing, folks, is not forced. At least I hope not. Alex, I'd love to turn to you for your thoughts, and please feel free to share really harsh criticisms to balance out Eric and Will if you can.
That is a tall ask, Jonathan. I've had a really awesome experience at California Common Cause. I've been working for California Common Cause since late September, and it's felt like 5 minutes. I can't believe it's been that long, but similar to like what Will was saying, I graduated and I knew what I wanted to do, but I had no idea how I was going to do it or where to begin. I had all of these interests and these passions and like just wasn't sure what to go next. And so your first like you've been working for 4 years to get this degree and now you've got it and the panic sets in of like, what do I do now? So coming across Common Cause, I read about the organization and I was like, oh, I absolutely have to throw my hat in the ring. And I've been so incredibly blessed to work at a company like California Common Cause with a team like the team that exists here. Everyone is so incredibly supportive. They're so incredibly open to hearing feedback, to giving us constructive criticism as interns, to helping us refine our skills. I was tasked with my supervisor, who is the program manager, Kiana, who I love so much. And we were working in election protection, which really felt like being thrown into the deep end. That whole experience was incredible, like helping manage hundreds of volunteers and help requests and working with the technology and the trainings and everything. It was a roller coaster of a ride, but I loved every minute of it. I've never felt so useful, which was great. This definitely isn't an internship where I felt like I was just an extra body in the office. Like I felt like I was constantly being put to work and being pushed in a good way. And I'm so grateful not to just everyone, like to you, Jonathan, when I was like, hey, I really want to help with policy. And you were like, okay, come on. And being able to explore that part of my skill set and work on those areas that I love to work in. It's just been such a fabulous and amazing experience. And anybody who's like, oh, maybe I'll apply, no, just do it. You won't regret it. Like, it's so awesome, and such an incredible experience. Like unlike any other. 10 out of 10 Common Cause.
Oh my God. Okay, well, the like overwhelming positivity is actually making me uncomfortable. You three are great. And thank you for sharing your experiences with our listeners, our viewers. I know that Will and Eric, you're wrapping up your time at California Common Cause, and I want to give you each individually a very personal thank you. You've both been fantastic and an invaluable part of our team. Legitimately, Alex said, you know, you're not just an extra body in the office. Literally, we have Will, Eric, and Alex doing mission critical work where like some things we get done wouldn't get done at all if we didn't have our fabulous intern crew. So thank you both for your incredible work and for your time with us. And Alex, I know your time is wrapping up over the course of the summer, but you'll still be part of the Common Cause family. And we could not have been luckier to have the three of you as our interns. And we're now looking for our fall intern. So if you go to the website, we've mentioned a couple of times now, commoncause.org/California/student-activism, you can register for SOS. If you're a member of Common Cause who is past your student and youth years, you can use that link to donate to our student programs and support young people like Will, Eric, and Alex and the next generation of Will, Eric, and Alex. And if you're interested, you can apply for the fall internship program. I really can't thank everyone enough for their support of the SOAR and SOS. Our Common Cause members have been huge benefactors of those programs for years and have been able to keep them moving under Helen's leadership. So there's thank yous all over the place on this. It's really been an incredible success story for us, and we're hugely proud of the student and youth programs that we have at California Common Cause. So thanks, folks, for joining us. Will, Eric, Alex, thank you so much for joining us, for the work that you've done to get us to this point, and for sharing your experiences here today with our Common Cause members. Folks at home, we'll see you again in the middle of June for our next monthly lunch with California Common Cause. For more regular updates on our work, you can follow us on social media, or you can sign up for our email list. On Twitter, we're at Common Cause CA. I'm at _Jonathan Stein. And you can join our email list at our homepage, commoncause.org/California. As always, everyone, we appreciate you and your support of California Common Cause. Thank you for being with us in this fight. Please stay safe, and we'll see you next month.